Hello, my beautiful friends. I was at a store today and the lineup was very long, and they obviously were short-staffed, as are many places right now due to the conditions we are finding ourselves in. And the young gentleman who was working the till was obviously very exhausted and tired, mentally and physically, no doubt emotionally as well. And to everybody ahead of me, as they got to the till, he apologized. He said, "I'm sorry, we're short-staffed," and then proceeded to help them. And I could feel how tired he was before I even got to the till. And when I got there and he apologized, I said to him, "There's no apology necessary. I understand these are difficult times." I said, "But you must be exhausted." And he stopped for a moment and he looked at me and he goes, "I am." And I said, "It's tiring to have to say I'm sorry all the time." And he just stopped and he looked at me for a moment, and I said, "Do you mind if I give you a suggestion?" And he said, "Right now, anything would help." And I said, "What if instead of saying, 'I'm sorry,' what if you said, 'Thank you for waiting. We're short-staffed. I really appreciate it.'" And he looked at me, and then he said exactly those words, "Thank you for waiting. We're short-staffed and I appreciate it." He goes, "That feels completely different." And I said, "Yes, it does. One is taking your energy. The other is replenishing your energy." And the reason I wanted to bring this up today is because it happened a few more times during my errands where people were apologizing for things that were obviously not their fault. And I understand that we do that mostly in attempt to connect with other people, to ease a situation for ourselves and for others. And yet when we take responsibility by apologizing for something that we had no control over, and we accept that blame, we actually are relinquishing some of our energy. We are disempowering ourselves. When we apologize profusely and overuse that, we also chip away at our confidence. Not intentionally, but it is part of that energetic component. If we keep taking blame for things, our confidence level will not be where it is if we had not taken ownership of something that was not ours. It also makes us question our skills and abilities if we overuse "I'm sorry." And it undermines our wants and our needs. And an example of that is, for example, if you have an allergy and when you're in a restaurant, you have to make an adaptation to your order. And some might feel compelled to apologize for that. And yet, that is not necessarily deserving of an apology to state something that you actually need. And to apologize for it actually diminishes the value that you place on that need. Because for many of us, it has become a habit or almost automatic. How do we claim our power and stop overusing "I'm sorry" and still acknowledge the situations that we're in? Well, the first way would be to become self-aware. And I know I mention this all the time, but it really is a powerful tool for every aspect of our experience. When we are self-aware, we are more likely to catch ourselves and prevent those automatic responses. while we're being mindful and self-aware, we can actually take stock of whether what is happening is really something we want to take ownership for, to take responsibility or blame for. In addition, we can use the premise of flipping the script or changing the perspective to really empower us in the situation. And I will refer back to the gentleman at the beginning of the story, where instead of saying, sorry for making you wait, there was a thank you for waiting, acknowledging that yes, you did have to wait, but not taking ownership for it. It was not his fault that they were short-staffed. And there are many situations where instead of saying, I'm sorry, we can thank a person for the perspective. Also, just simply acknowledging, quite often, I know it's something that I have to watch, when somebody tells me how they're feeling, the automatic response that used to come for me was, I'm sorry. And yet I did not cause them to feel that way. So it was a conscious effort to change that dialogue into something more appropriate, like, that sounds really difficult, or thank you for sharing that with me. Just a simple suggestion on one way that we can make a small shift and change how we go about our day, whether we disempower or empower ourselves. Thank you so much for listening to this perspective, and until next time, please be well.